Hello guys, I hope we are all doing well. You are welcome once again to Success Hub Media with Engineer Chris, where I help you in bringing out the genius inside of you. Yes, I mean you can become that genius you want to be. This is Mathematics Made Easy Series Part 2. In this series, we are uncovering the secrets that have made mathematics appear to be a difficult subject. All the parts in this series are linked, hence the reason why you should see Part 1 for a better understanding if you have not. You can find the link to Part 1 in the description box below or check my playlist. If it's your first time here, it is highly recommended you press that subscribe button and press the bell icon that will appear at the right hand side so you won't miss out on any upload. Subscription is completely free. Without wasting much time, get your writing materials and let's get started. As a way of revision, let's quickly go through our last class. I would like you to pause this video and solve the following and come back for confirmation of your answers. It is assumed you have paused the video and you have solved the problems, so let's take a look at the solution together. Looking at the first one, we have 3 oranges plus 2 oranges. That will give us 5 oranges. We said in our last class that you can add or subtract the same items. Number 2, we have 7 mangoes minus 3 mangoes. That will give us 4 mangoes, okay? Number 3, we have 3x plus 5x. That will give us 5x because we are dealing with the same items. We can add them. Number 4, we have 7x minus 6x. That will give us 1x. Remember we said in the first part of this series that when you have one yam, the same thing as just saying yam. When you have one x, the same thing as just saying x. So we don't like writing 1x in mathematics. We prefer to just write x. Number 5, we have 3 oranges minus 2 mangoes. What will be our answer? It's going to remain as 3 oranges minus 2 mangoes because they are different items. Number 6, we have 7 oranges plus 2 mangoes. It's going to remain as 7 oranges plus 2 mangoes. Why? Because they are different items or quantities. Number 7, we have 3x plus 2y. It's going to remain as 3x plus 2y because they are different. Number 8, we have 6m plus 4n. It's going to remain as 6m plus 4n for the same reason. Number 9, we have apple times apple times apple times apple. That will give us apple raised to power. How many apples do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hence the reason why we have 4 here. So this is pronounced as apple raised to power 4. Okay. Number 10, we have m times g. That will give us mg. As you can see, m and g have become glued or frozen. That's because of the multiplication sign. Okay. Number 11, we have 3y times 5g. How do we do this? We are going to multiply the numbers. As you can see, we have 3 times 5. Then we go ahead and multiply the alphabet. As you can see, we have y times g. So 3 times 5 will give us what? 15. And y times g will give us what? yg, as explained in the first part of this series. Number 12, we have 6 yam divided by 12. 6 yam divided by 2 yam. How do we solve this? Just the same way we did for multiplication. We are going to divide the numbers and we are going to divide the quantity or the item. Okay? So 6 divided by 2 will give us 3. And yam divided by yam will give us 1. Just take note that in mathematics, anything divided by itself is 1. That's the reason why divided by 1. That's the reason why yam divided by yam is giving us 1. Okay? So 3 times 1 will give us 3. Okay? For number 13, we have 6y divided by 2y. It's the same thing, just like as we've said here. The reason why I used yam is so that even when you're having alphabet, you can liken it to be any item. Okay? So it's the same thing as we did here. The number will divide the number and the alphabet will divide the alphabet. 6 divided by 2 will leave us with 3, and y divided by 1 will leave us with 1. 3 times 1 will give us 3. Take note that in mathematics, bracket means multiplication. Okay? That's the reason why, even as I'm having bracket here, I can say it's the same thing as 3 times 1 giving us 3. Number 14, we have 50m divided by 25p. The same thing applies. We are going to divide the numbers, then we divide the alphabet. So 50 divided by 25 will give us 2. M divided by P will remain as M divided by P. Why? Because they are different items. This was explained in the first part of this series. Alright, with that being said, we are going to move into the business of the day. But just before we do that, there is an important thing I would like you to take note of in mathematics. Okay? The point is that in mathematics, anytime you see a number or alphabet that does not have a plus or minus sign in front of it, it simply means there is an invisible plus in front of that number, which means every number or alphabet has to have a plus or minus sign in front of it. Okay, what does this mean? As we are seeing -5 here now, we can see obviously that the sign in front of 5 is minus. It is obvious in this case, right? Now we have plus y as another example. It is obvious that the sign in front of y is plus. Okay, now what if we have a number like 7 that does not have any sign in front of it? Does it mean that 7 does not have a sign? What we are saying is that in this case you have to know that there is an invisible plus in front of 7. Okay, so what if we have an alphabet standing on its own without a sign in front of it? Does it mean it does not have a sign? No, it simply means there is an invisible plus in front of it. This concept is very, very important for you to take note of in mathematics, because you will need it as time goes on, and in fact in the journey of mathematics as a whole. Okay, so moving on to the business of the day, I would like you to understand that it is very important you follow this class patiently and understand the concept we'll be reeling out here. The reason is because we'll soon start solving equations, and everything we've learned in part 1 and in this part will become very, very important in the journey of mathematics and solving mathematical problems in general. Okay, now as you can see, we have addition and subtraction of numbers with signs. You might be tempted to say that, is this not almost the same thing as what we treated in part 1? Yes, it's somehow similar. However, I would like you to take note of this word signs. It is very important for you to know how to deal with signs, because if you don't know how to deal with signs, you will have issues with mathematics. Okay, now addition and subtraction of things with signs. What's the difference here? I would like you to take note that when there is a plus or minus sign in front of a number that is being added or subtracted to another number, there are some rules that apply. Okay, the rule for you to take note of here is that minus tells you what you are owing someone, and plus tells you what the person is owing you. Okay, now let's take an example. If we have -7 plus 2, you might start getting confused as to what the answer will be, but it's very simple. We've already said in this rule here that minus means you are owing someone and plus means the person is owing you. So if we are to interpret -7 plus 2, it's going to mean that you are owing somebody 7 naira, plus 2 means the person is owing you 2 naira. So if, okay, just take note that the minus means you are owing somebody, and whatever you are owing the person might be in naira, as in the case of Nigeria it might be dollars or any currency that applies in your country. Okay, then plus 2 also means that the person is owing you 2 naira, $2, or whatever applies to your country. Okay, now the question now is this: let me just take it back for a moment. Okay, we have plus 2, which means the person is owing you 2 naira. Okay, so the question now is this: who is owing who as of this moment? Is it you that is still owing the person, or the person is owing you? Yes, you got it right. As of this moment, you are still owing the person 5 naira. So if you are owing the person 5 naira, is a minus on your part because you are owing. That is the reason why the answer is going to become what? -5. Why? Because you are still owing. Okay, now let's take a look at another example. If we have -3 plus 10, how do we interpret this? It's the same. -3 means you are owing the person 3 naira, and plus 10 means the person is owing you. Okay, so if you are owing the person 3 naira or $3 and the person is owing you $10, the question now is this: who is owing who as of this moment? Yes, you got it right. The person is owing you. Owing you how much? 7 naira or $7. Okay? Because the person is owing you, what would the answer be? Because the person is owing you, it is a plus on your part. Hence the reason why the answer to this question will be what? Plus 7. Okay? Now let's take a look at another example. If we have minus 5 minus 1, how do we interpret this? It simply means that minus 5 means that you are owing the person 5 naira. Minus 1 means that you are owing the person another 1 naira. So who is owing who right now? Yes, you got it right. You are still owing the person. How much are you owing the person altogether? You are owing the person 6 naira. Now let me ask you this question. Is this a plus on your part or a minus on your part? Yes, you also got it right. It's a minus on your part because you are the one owing. Hence the reason why the answer will be what? Minus 6. I hope you are following. Okay, now let's take a look at another example. If we have plus 5 plus 1, what would the answer be? It's very simple. Plus 5 means the person is owing you 5 naira or $5. Plus 1 also means the person is still owing you another 1 naira. So what is it going to be? It simply means that the person is owing you 6 naira. Okay? Now if the person is owing you 6 naira, what will your answer be? Is it a plus on your part or a minus on your part? It's a plus on your part. Hence the reason why the answer is going to be plus 6, because the person is still owing you. Okay? Now I would like you to pause the video quickly and try out this ones here. So it is assumed you have paused the video, it is assumed you have solved. Let's take a look at what the solution will be. Looking at the first one, plus 9 minus 5. You are owing the person is owing you 9 naira, you are owing the person 5 naira. It simply means the person is still owing you. Okay, so that's why it is plus 4. And we've already established that when you have plus 4, it's the same thing as you just writing 4. So our answer is 4. So the same thing applies for 6 minus 8. Okay, remember there is an invisible plus in front of 6. So the person is owing you 6 naira, you are owing the person 8 naira. Simply means you are still owing the person 2 naira. That's why it is minus 2. Okay, minus 4 plus 9. You are owing 9 naira, the person is owing you 9 naira. Is a what? Is a plus on your part because the person is owing you 5 naira. So the same thing as 5. So the same thing applies to minus 8 minus 2. You are owing the person 8 naira, you borrowed another 2 naira again, so you are owing the person 10 naira. Okay, so the same thing applies for plus 9m minus 5m. You can just take the m as mangoes. Okay, the person is owing you 9 mangoes, you are owing the person 5 mangoes. What is going to be? The person is still owing you 4 mangoes. Hence the reason why it is plus 4m. So at the end of the day, you can leave your answer as just 4m. Okay, so if we have 6y minus 8y, it's the same thing. There is an invisible plus here. It's as good as saying the person is owing you 6 yams and you are owing the person 8 yams. So what's happening? You are still owing the person 2 yams. That's why it is minus 2y. Okay, so what if it is minus 4m plus 9a? It is going to remain as minus 4m plus 9a because they are different quantities. It's as good as saying the person is you are owing the person 4 mangoes and the person is owing you 9 apples. There is no way we can resolve that except you want to do trade by barter. That's the lighter note. Alright, so minus 8r minus 2r. Okay, you are owing the person, let's say 8. What can we take r as? Let's just use rabbit. Let's just use a rabbit as an example. You are owing the person 8 rabbits. You still collected another 8 rabbits. What is going to be? You are still owing the person 10 rabbits. That's why it is minus 10r. All right. Now let's move on to multiplication of numbers with signs. Okay. The rule for you to take note of here is this: plus times plus will give you plus. Minus times minus will give you plus. Minus times plus will give you minus. Plus times minus will give you minus. You can start asking me, how am I going to have this in my head? It's very, very simple. The reason why it is simple is this: you will observe that there is a pattern. Anytime the signs are the same, plus and plus, it gives you plus. Minus and minus, it gives you plus. But once the signs are different, it gives you minus. Example: minus times plus gives you minus, plus times minus gives you minus. It's that simple. Okay, so the rule you have to know here is this: whenever you are multiplying numbers, there are 3 steps to take. Okay, the first step is that you multiply the signs. The second step is that you multiply the numbers. The third step rather is that you multiply the alphabet if there are alphabets. Now let's take some examples for a better understanding. Example: we are having minus 4m minus 3m. What do? Step 1, we multiply the signs. Step 2, multiply the numbers. Step 3, we multiply the alphabet. Okay, so minus times minus, you don't even need to go back. You should know what the answer is, because we said once the signs are different, it gives you a plus. So that will give us plus. 4 times 3 will give us 12. M times n will give us mn. So our answer is plus 12mn, which we can still leave as 12mn. Okay, another example: minus 2y times 5. What will it give us? We still follow the same steps. Number 1, we multiply the signs. So we are multiplying this minus here with the invisible plus in front of 5. That's why I have to write invisible plus here. Okay, so that you don't start wondering where the plus is coming out from. Okay, then the number, which is 2 times 5, is what we have here. Then this y is what we have here. There is no other alphabet. We would have multiplied it with this y. Okay, so minus times plus, you don't even need to think too much. We've already said before that once the signs are different, it gives you a minus. So that leaves us with minus 10y. Okay, sorry, don't mind my voice, I have a cold. That's by the way. Now another example, when we have 6n times minus 5n. What do? There is an invisible plus in front of 6. That's why I said invisible plus times this minus here. Okay, then this number 6 times number 5, then n times n. Okay, that will give us plus times minus will give us minus. 6 times 5 will give us 30. N times n will give us n squared. We've already established this in our first part of this series. Okay, tell me what the answer to this one will be. If you are having minus 7n times minus 2n, what will be your answer? Now let's move on to division of numbers with signs. Okay, the rule here also is very simple. You just need to know that plus divided by plus will give you plus, minus divided by minus will give you plus, minus divided by minus will give you minus. Sorry, minus divided by plus will give you minus, plus divided by minus will give you minus. As you can also see, there is a pattern. You can see that anytime the signs are the same, it gives you a plus. Can you see? Then anytime the signs are different, it gives you a minus. It's so simple. You don't even need to cram. Okay, now let's see another rule that applies in division. It's the same thing as multiplication. The rule is saying that when you have two things to divide, first of all you divide the signs, followed by you dividing the numbers, and lastly you dividing the alphabet if there are alphabets. Okay, let's take a look at some examples. If we are having minus 6m divided by 3m, what do? First of all, we divide the signs, then we divide the numbers, divide the alphabet. This minus is this minus you're having here. This plus is the invisible plus in front of 3. Okay, I don't need to start writing invisible plus every time. Okay, then this 6 is what we're having here, this 3 is what we're having here, then the alphabet. Okay, so minus divided by plus will give us minus. 6 divided by 3 will give us 2. M divided by m will give us 1. We've said it before. Anything divided by itself is a 1. Okay, so this minus 2 times 1 will give us what? 2. Then you have this minus here. Okay, that gives us minus 2 as our answer. Now let's go into introduction of equation. Let's even know what equations are. You can see that we are gradually moving. We have moved from the basics. Now we are started moving into equations. Let's quickly have an idea of what an equation is. What is an equation? Equations are mathematical expressions with the sign of equality. In other words, the word equation is derived from this word equality. Okay, this equal to. It simply means that equations have the sign of equality in them, you must see the sign of equal to. Alright, so let's take a look at a very simple example. If we have 2x equal to 10, as you can see, this is a mathematical expression with a sign of equality, so this is an equation. So it is good for you to know that the numbers in an equation are referred to as constants, okay, while the alphabet is referred to as variables. Alright, so by virtue of this explanation, I would like you to understand that there are different types of equations, okay. There are different types of equations. The power of the variable is what really determines the name of the equation. So we have number 1, linear equations. In linear equation, the highest power of the variable is 1. Example, 3x plus 5 equals to 10. The variable in this case is x. The power of x here is 1. So we don't need to write it, okay? So this is an example of linear equation. While we have also quadratic equations. In quadratic equations, the highest power of the variable is 2, okay? As you can see, we have 3x squared. You can see 2 as the power of x here. Then 5x raised to power invisible 1 minus 2 equals to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. Then we also have polynomial equations. In polynomial equations, the highest power of the variable is 3 and above. Okay. With that being said, I would like you to understand that almost all equations in mathematics end up in one format or structure. The structure is as seen in this example, 2m equals to 6, where we are finding what m. What are we trying to say here? We are saying that almost all the problems you will encounter in mathematics, by the time you finish solving it, you will arrive at this stage. Hence the reason why it's good for us to know how to tackle a problem at this stage. So as an example, we have 2m equals to 6 and we are asked to find m. What do we do? Before solving this equation, I would like to ask you a question. What sign is in between 2 and m? Is it a plus sign, minus sign, times sign, or divide sign? It is a times sign. Why? Because you can see that the m and the 2 are glued or frozen together, as we have explained in part 1 of this series. Okay, so whenever you have two things joined by multiplication and equal to a third thing, in order for you to find one of those two things, we say divide both sides by the coefficient of what we are finding. Let's go back to our example for a better understanding. Now we have 2m equals to 6. M is what we are looking for. The coefficient of m is the number or anything that is glued to m with multiplication, which is 2 in this case. So when we say divide both sides by the coefficient of m, we are simply saying divide the left hand side and the right hand side by 2, which is the coefficient of m in this case. Okay, so since 2 and m are joined by multiplication, in order to find m, we will say divide both sides by the coefficient of m, which is whatever that is glued with m by multiplication. So in this case of 2m equals to 6, we are going to divide both sides by the coefficient of m, which is 2. So we'll have 2m divided by 2 and 6 divided by 2. Okay, so we'll find out that 2 divided by 2 is 1. This m is what you have here, equals to 3. 1 times m, sitting as m. Okay, so m is equals to 3. We have just found m. M is equals to 3 in this case. Okay. Alright, as you can see, you have started solving equations already. I know the equation here appears to be simple, but the most important thing is that you understand what you are doing and you have confidence in the little you have learned. This is how we'll continue making progress as the series continues, to the point that you will start solving complex topics in mathematics all by yourself with confidence. This is where we'll end the class for part 2. Remember to like, give a positive comment, and subscribe for free by pressing the subscribe button and the bell icon that will appear by the right hand side, so that you won't miss out on any upload. And I would like you to also know that your subscription will also enable me to continue providing you with free tutorials like this. See you in the next class. Thank you for your rapt attention.